Fantastic science can lead to enormous clinical value to patients, long-term value, nearly cures. This is an opportunity for people to network and people to learn. We see the ISCT as an opinion leader organization, but also a teaching organization. There's a lot of work to be done, but I see a future of more and more significant long-term value / cures to these patients using cell and gene therapy.
Our reporting from the International Society for Cell and Gene Therapy annual convention is made possible thanks to the support of Cellares. I am Federico Cittoric reporting for Onyx Live here in Dublin at the ISCT. Today we took some time to have a chat with Miguel Forte, president of ISCT, who are hosting the event. Miguel, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Federico. Nice to meet you and have a chance to chat. Currently president of ISCT, hosting this event, which I hope you're enjoying. Definitely, I'm enjoying the vibrancy that we're having here. I'm an MD PhD by training. I've done clinical academic, I've done multiple things, but what I enjoy doing is facilitating development of new products in cell and gene therapy. Fantastic science can lead to enormous clinical value to patients, long-term value, nearly cures. And so, in addition to my role at ISCT, I'm also very involved in ARM, and CEO of TG Therapeutics, a company developing gene-engineered stem cells, as well as member of the board and advisor to several organizations. So really committed to this field and delighted to have everybody here.
From your perspective, what's the main role that ISCT is also playing in the field?
Yeah, ISCT is an organization that's about more than 30 years. Has been around gathering people that have an interest on developing new products, new cell and gene therapy products for patients. When I ran for president, I had three things that I wanted to imprint into society. One, global presence for local impact, making sure that we were gathering everything and everywhere. And it's very important because the geography of the development of this product is changing, with China rising, Europe struggling to a certain extent, US. So it's our global presence gives that global structure. The second thing was ethical, making sure that everything that we do is from an ethical point of view correct, and educating on that. And then the third thing is really patient access. Patient access is one of the challenges of cell and gene therapy. There's multiple elements that limit access to a certain extent, and I think ISCT can facilitate that. So really it's an organization for people to find home if you're of an interest on cell and gene therapy, and then obviously to impact the adequate development of products for patients.
And can you tell us a bit about this conference? So who are the people here? Why are they here?
So this conference, we have more than 2,500 participants. We have people from all over the world, about 40% from Europe, and then a good contingent from the US, also from Asia and elsewhere. And we have from early stage scientists that are starting their career, to well-established leaders, academic and industrial leaders. So we're really gathering all aspects. I should say that ISCT has 4 pillars. One is regulatory, another one is academic, another one is industry, and I actually fostered the creation of a 4th pillar, which is clinical. And so we're gathering here people that have an interest in regulatory discussions, are doing academic research, definitely considering how to put these products on the market, and we're making a bigger discussion on how these products are being used from a clinical perspective, from a market perspective, really making sure that we reflect where the field is. 10 years ago, we were developing basic science. Today, we're treating patients. So the clinical pillar becomes a need, becomes a critical element of how we impact the fields. I would say that this is an opportunity for people to network and people to learn. We see the ISCT as an opinion leader organization, but also a teaching organization, providing opportunities for people to learn and exchange information and get actually some formal training as well.
I wanted to have your opinion and perspective on how the CGT field is moving forward. So where do you think, I think you already kind of mentioned that before, where do you think is moving fast? Where is it perhaps a bit slowing down? And also how are the different markets in the different continents having a role in that?
That's a very important question. I think the field is reaching maturity. the theme of our meeting today is the golden age of cell and gene therapy. I just mentioned to you that we're now treating patients, so we're really at the stage of the clinical. Nevertheless, it's still in the adolescent stage, right? We're still trying to find our bearings. Our technology needs to expand. We need new models for how these products are being used and how these products are being paid, and we need more access. So that's some challenges there. Obviously, we also suffer from the broad environment in terms of risk aversion on investment, and so we see some struggling companies to get investment, and more investors and stakeholders want to see clinical data. That's also why it's important to go onto the clinical data. Now, how is this happening on the global scenery? Obviously, the US continues to be a strong, even though there's been some challenges in the regulatory. I mean, we've seen some instability with the FDA, and that's not good for the field, and it's not been good to impact the field in the US. Europe has been struggling. We've been slow on developing clinical trials, but we're improving, and there's a clear political will through the Biotech Act, through some actions of the Commission. The Health Commissioner is really committed to develop this area of cell and gene therapy. So there's an opportunity that Europe needs to seize. And obviously, we cannot go without speaking about China, where a lot is happening. It's an explosion of cell and gene therapy with good quality, speed, good economies of scale. So really, and it's important that we go back to what I said about ISCT being a global society. We have the opportunity to integrate all of that. In the end, what we want is globally to be successful on developing products, because then we want to globally get them to patients in need.
Is there one specific aspect about CGT that you're most excited about, or do you think there is one specific aspect that is going to be the future of CGT?
Yeah, well, very important question. I think cell and gene therapy is using cells more and more in a synthetic biology perspective. And we're able to use the cells and engineer. What we do at KG, for instance, we take cells and we source them from an optimized way, and we engineer them for an optimized therapeutics. This opportunity of a nearly synthetic biology is giving us a very powerful tool that harnesses the cell function and gene engineers the therapeutic opportunity. And back to your question, what excites me in cell and gene therapy is not only that technical aspect, but the fact that treating patients, we give them long-term benefit. We're able to give them cures. Cell and gene therapy goes to the core of the disease, using optimized cells engineered for a therapeutic benefit, giving an opportunity to cure disease like genetic diseases, like cancer, definitely in hematological malignancies. There's a lot of work to be done, but I see a future of more and more significant long-term value / cures to these patients using cell and gene therapy.
At a conference like this, how do you tell whether the field is really going on and moving with the conversations rather than just repeating them through time?
One important thing is, how do we build a program? We build a program of this meeting trying to see what are the frontiers. We had a keynote speaker yesterday really talking about new technologies in product development. So it's a conscious decision to be here in, I would call, a blend of the forefront technologies where the innovation is being disruptive, as well as discussing the established technologies for younger. I mean, we're also very keen on what we call early stage professionals, to bring new professionals into the field. So the program reflects the innovation, program reflects where we are, and so hopefully this will be something that evolves with the field, and we're reflecting the field rather than repeating the field, but also pushing the field to the next stage.
That sounds really exciting. Miguel, thank you very much again for your time, for joining us.
Federico, thank you.
Thank you to the International Society for Cell and Gene Therapy for supporting Onyx Live.